You stand on the digital battlefield of modern investing. It is a world of breathtaking speed, of overwhelming data, of chaotic, algorithm-driven mood swings. Every day is a fresh assault on your senses and your sanity. You are armed with the latest technology, the fastest news feeds, the most sophisticated analytical tools. And yet, you feel perpetually on the defensive, constantly reacting, forever one step behind a market that feels less like a rational system and more like a raging, unpredictable god. This chaos is not an accident. It is a design. The modern financial ecosystem is an engine precision-engineered to provoke your most primal, irrational, and unprofitable impulses. The 24/7 news cycle is a fire hose of fear and greed. The social media hype machine is a siren song luring you towards speculative manias. The sheer velocity of high-frequency trading is designed to make your human-paced reason feel obsolete. It is a world built to make you a reactive gambler, not a strategic investor. In this environment, the old rules of investing, while still valuable, feel tragically insufficient. The game has changed. We are no longer just fighting against market fundamentals. We are fighting against weaponized psychology, against viral narratives, against the very architecture of our own distracted minds. To navigate this new and treacherous landscape with old tools is to invite frustration, anxiety, and ultimately financial ruin. But what if the ultimate weapon for this modern war was not a new algorithm, but an ancient mindset? What if the secret to thriving in this chaos was a timeless operating system for the human soul? This channel is not another source of market noise. It is a quiet library, a private study where the timeless strategies of the masters are kept. If you seek to move beyond the frantic trading floor and enter the inner circle of the true strategists, then join our school. Like this video and subscribe. Today, we unlock the great Stoic secret. It is a philosophy that has been tested in the fires of collapsing empires, brutal battlefields, and devastating plagues. It is a mental and spiritual framework that is perfectly, almost prophetically, suited to the unique chaos of our times. We will show you how to use this ancient wisdom to not only find peace amidst the storm, but to harness its energy, to thrive within it, and to build a fortress of true generational wealth. Consider the plight of a modern investor we will call Leo. Leo was intelligent, informed, and diligent. His screens were a dazzling dashboard of real-time data. He had subscriptions to every major financial publication. He could debate the merits of a dozen different investment theses. By all accounts, he was a sophisticated participant in the market, but his inner world was a state of constant, low-grade panic. He was a slave to the news cycle. A comment from a central banker could ruin his day. A geopolitical headline from halfway across the world could send him into a spiral of anxiety. He would buy a stock based on a solid long-term thesis, only to sell it a week later because of some short-term noise. He was a ship with a brilliant navigational system, but no rudder, tossed about by every passing wave. His attempts to be disciplined were constantly sabotaged by the chaos. He would see a meme stock skyrocketing on social media and feel the irresistible pull of FOMO, the fear of missing out. He would jump in, usually at the top, and then watch in horror as it collapsed, his prudent plans shattered by a moment of impulsive greed. He was fighting a war on two fronts, against the market and against himself. The Stoics would have diagnosed Leo's problem instantly. He was committing the cardinal sin against their philosophy. He was trying to predict and control things that are, by their very nature, unpredictable and uncontrollable. He was trying to command the battlefield. As the philosopher-slave Epictetus taught, our misery comes not from events, but from our desire to control events that are not within our power. Furthermore, his goal was a vague and unexamined one, to make more money. This is not a goal, it is a direction without a destination. A general who simply tells his army to march forward without a specific objective will lead them to exhaustion and ruin. Without a clearly defined, virtuous end goal, Leo's financial campaign was just a series of frantic, meaningless skirmishes. This is the state of so many modern investors. They are armed with incredible technology, but crippled by a primitive psychology. They have access to infinite information, but suffer from a profound poverty of wisdom. They are playing a game that is designed to exploit their emotional weaknesses, and they are losing, not because they are unintelligent, but because they are philosophically unarmed. The great secret of the Stoics is this: the primary battlefield is not the market, it is your own mind. The ultimate competitive advantage in a world of chaos is not a faster algorithm or a better source of information. The ultimate competitive advantage is a calm, disciplined, and unconquerable mind. The investor who has mastered themselves can never be truly defeated by the market. This is the inner citadel that Marcus Aurelius wrote about. It is an inner fortress of reason and principle that is impervious to the chaos of the external world. The news can rage, the markets can plummet, the crowd can panic. But within the walls of this citadel, you remain calm, you remain rational, and you remain in command. The Stoic investor does not build a better portfolio first, they build a better mind first. So how do we build this fortress? The Stoics provided a detailed architectural blueprint. The first principle of its construction is a practice known as the view from above. This is a powerful meditation where you learn to zoom out. You visualize your city, then your country, then the entire planet as a small sphere in the vastness of space. You see all of human history, with its rising and falling empires, its wars, its frantic activities. From this cosmic perspective, you then look down upon the frantic, ant-like scurrying of the daily stock market. You see the panics, the manias, the endless noise for what it is, a tiny, insignificant, and ephemeral drama on a vast and timeless stage. This practice is not meant to make you dismissive, but to make you detached. It cultivates the long-term perspective that is the bedrock of all wise investing. The second principle of construction is the unbreachable wall. This is the practical application of the dichotomy of control. You must build a clear, inviolable wall in your mind between that which you control and that which you do not. The market's daily movements, the pronouncements of pundits, the actions of other investors, these are all outside the wall. You will observe them, but you will not let them in. They cannot touch you. Inside the wall is your domain, your kingdom, your savings rate, your asset allocation plan, your research process, your criteria for buying or selling, your emotional responses. This is where you will focus all of your energy, with the intensity of a master craftsman. The Stoic investor is obsessed with the integrity of their own process and beautifully indifferent to the daily outcomes. The third principle is the prepared garrison. A wise commander does not wait for the siege to begin to prepare his defenses. He anticipates it. The Stoic investor practices Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. You will regularly, in a calm and rational state, contemplate and plan for the inevitable bear markets, recessions, and personal financial crises. You will ask yourself, what is the wisest course of action if the market drops 40% next year? You will write down your plan. You will prepare your resources. You will mentally rehearse your calm, disciplined response. This preparation does not make you fearful, it makes you fearless. You have already faced the worst in your mind, and you have a plan. Panic is the child of surprise. The Stoic investor is never surprised. These three principles, the view from above, the unbreachable wall, and the prepared garrison, are the foundations of your inner citadel. They are the secret to thriving in chaos. While other investors are being swept away by the emotional tides of fear and greed, you will be standing firm on the high ground of your own fortified mind, observing the battlefield with the calm, strategic eye of a general. Leo discovered these principles in the writings of Marcus Aurelius. He realized that his problem was not a lack of financial knowledge, but a lack of philosophical strength. He had been trying to fight a war without any military discipline. He decided to shift his focus from mastering the market to mastering himself. He became a student of Stoicism. He began the practice of the view from above each morning. This simple meditation began to dissolve his short-term anxieties. He started to see the market not as a series of daily threats, but as a long-term engine of value creation. He stopped reacting to the noise and started paying attention to the signal. He drew a hard line in his mind, the unbreachable wall. He created a simple written investment policy statement, his rules of engagement. All his investment decisions would be filtered through this document. The emotional, impulsive news of the day was no longer allowed a vote. He was placing his reason, not his reactions, on the throne, and he prepared his garrison. He stress-tested his portfolio. He increased his emergency fund. He wrote down in his journal his exact plan of action for the next market crash. He was no longer a civilian hoping for peace. He was a soldier preparing for a war he knew was inevitable, and in this preparation he found a profound and unexpected peace. This is the Stoic secret unlocked. It is the realization that the power to thrive in chaos is not an external skill, but an internal one. It is the result of a deliberate, disciplined, and daily practice of building a mind that is stronger than the market's madness. This is the foundation upon which all lasting wealth is built. And that brings us to the second part of our promise, the building of generational wealth. This is a concept that is often misunderstood. Most people think of it as simply leaving a large sum of money to their children. The Stoics would see this as a profound and dangerous error. To leave a fortune to an heir who has not been prepared for it is not a gift, it is a curse. It is like giving a sword to a child. True generational wealth from a Stoic perspective is a three-legged stool. It is a legacy comprised of financial capital, human capital, and, most importantly, philosophical capital. To pass on one without the other two is to build a legacy that is destined to collapse, often within a single generation. The first leg, financial capital, is the one we are most familiar with. This is the portfolio of assets. And the Stoic approach to building it is a direct reflection of their philosophy. It must be built with prudence. This means a focus on resilience over returns. It means a globally diversified, low-cost portfolio that is designed to weather any economic storm. It is an all-weather portfolio, a deeply Stoic concept. The Stoic dynasty is not built on speculative bets or flashy, high-risk ventures. It is built on the patient, relentless, and boring compounding of the world's greatest businesses. It is a fortune that is designed to grow for 100 years, not just for the next business cycle. It is the financial embodiment of the long-term perspective. The second leg is human capital. This is the knowledge, the skills, and the work ethic that the next generation will need to be good stewards of the financial capital. A wise builder of generational wealth understands that their primary duty is not to make their children rich, but to make them capable. This means a rigorous education in financial literacy from a young age. It means teaching the value of hard work, of providing value to the world, of creating their own success. The goal is to raise children who would be capable of building their own fortune, even if they were not inheriting one. The inheritance is merely an accelerant for an already well-built engine, not the engine itself. This prevents the entitlement and decay that destroys so many wealthy families. But the third leg is the most important. It is the one that is almost always neglected, and its absence is why shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations is a cliché. This is the philosophical capital. This is the Stoic operating system itself. It is the wisdom that governs the use of the other 2 forms of capital. The true builder of generational wealth is not just a parent, they are a teacher of philosophy. They must pass down the principles of the inner citadel. They must teach their children the dichotomy of control. They must train them in the practice of voluntary discomfort so they never grow soft or entitled. They must instill in them a stoic indifference to material possessions. The ultimate goal is to raise heirs who do not need the family fortune for their happiness or their self-worth. To raise children who have their own strong, independent inner citadels. This is the great paradox. The best way to ensure your fortune lasts for generations is to raise descendants who would be perfectly fine without it. This philosophical capital also includes the Stoic concept of oikeiosis, the understanding that we are all citizens of the cosmos. Therefore, the family fortune is not just for the family. It is a tool to be used for the good of the community and the world. The builder of a Stoic dynasty instills a sense of noble duty, of stewardship, of using the family's resources to be a force for virtue in the world. This is what makes the wealth generational. It is not just the money that is passed down, but the wisdom and the virtue that ensure the money is preserved, grown, and used for a noble purpose, generation after generation. It is the creation of a lineage of not just wealthy people, but of good, wise, and flourishing human beings. Leo, our modern investor, began to understand this deeper game. His focus shifted from the short-term goal of maximizing his own returns to the multi-generational project of building a true legacy. His investment decisions became more patient, more prudent. He was no longer trying to win the next skirmish. He was trying to win a war that would last for a century. And his relationship with his children changed. He stopped thinking about what he would leave to them and started thinking about what he would leave in them. He started talking to them about the four virtues, about resilience, about the difference between what we control and what we don't. He was building the philosophical capital, the most valuable asset he would ever pass on. This is the journey of the investor sage. It is the evolution from a mere player in the market to a master architect of a lasting legacy. It is a journey that is infinitely more challenging and infinitely more rewarding than simply trying to beat the S&P 500. It is a journey that gives your financial life a profound and inspiring purpose. This is how you thrive in chaos. You do it by playing a different game. While everyone else is playing the frantic, short-term game of prediction and reaction, you are playing the calm, long-term game of building. While they are being whipsawed by the daily noise, you are serenely laying the foundations of a 100-year dynasty. The chaos becomes irrelevant to you. It is the weather, and you are building a mountain. Let us, the strategists in this room, consider the nature of this chaos. It is a formidable enemy, constantly evolving its tactics to assault our peace of mind. To defeat it, we must understand it. We must share our intelligence from the field, from the front lines of our own investment experience. A shared threat assessment is the first step toward a coordinated and effective defense. The chaos of the past was simpler. It was a newspaper headline, a ticker tape. The chaos of today is a multi-front war. It is an algorithmic flash crash that happens in milliseconds. It is a viral tweet that creates a billion-dollar mania overnight. It is a 24/7 fire hose of information that is impossible for a single human mind to process. We need a collective wisdom to face this. The Stoic virtues are our timeless strategic principles, but we must learn to apply them to these new and specific threats. The courage required to ignore a viral meme stock is a different flavor of courage than the one required to face a legion on the battlefield, but it is courage nonetheless. The prudence required to navigate a world of cryptocurrencies and NFTs is a new application of an ancient virtue. This is the work we do here, in this community. We are the modern Stoic strategists, adapting the timeless wisdom to the contemporary battlefield. Your experience, your struggles, your insights are a vital contribution to our collective book of strategy. You are not just a viewer. You are a fellow in this modern school of philosophy. So I ask you to contribute to our strategic planning. As an investor, what specific element of modern market chaos represents the greatest assault on your own inner citadel? Where do you find your defenses most tested? Is it the relentless, fear-mongering 24/7 news cycle? Is it the intense social pressure and FOMO generated by social media? Or is it the sheer, dehumanizing speed of algorithmic trading? Report your primary threat in the comments section. My biggest challenge is tuning out the daily news and sticking to my long-term plan. I struggle with the envy and FOMO I get from seeing speculative wins on Reddit. The speed of the market makes me feel like I'm always behind. Let's identify the enemy's main avenues of attack. By sharing this intelligence, you are doing two things. You are sharpening your own strategic mind by forcing yourself to identify and name the threat. And you are helping your fellow investors in this community to recognize that their struggles are not unique personal failings, but are common challenges that we must develop a collective strategy to overcome. After you have identified your threat, read the reports of others, see the common patterns, offer a word of solidarity or a tactic that has worked for you. To fight the news cycle, I have a rule to only check my portfolio once a month. Let's turn this space into a living strategy session, a council of war for the modern Stoic investor. Thank you for your contribution to the Legion's defense. A threat that is understood is a threat that can be neutralized. Now, let us turn our gaze to the ultimate prize of this campaign, the life of the investor sage, the person who has not only built a great fortune, but who has also achieved a great soul. The investor sage is the embodiment of our philosophy. They are the person who has successfully integrated the world of finance with the world of virtue. They are a figure of immense and quiet power. They move through the chaotic world of markets, not with anxiety, but with a serene and unshakable confidence. Let us examine the qualities of this ideal we are striving for. The investor sage operates from a state of calm. They have so thoroughly fortified their inner citadel that the daily noise of the market is just that, noise. It does not penetrate their walls. Their emotional state is not correlated with the movements of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This inner peace is their most valuable asset. The investor sage is patient. They are not in a hurry. They are planting oak trees, not weeds. They understand that true wealth is a product of time and compounding, and they are content to let these powerful forces do their work. They have a time arbitrage advantage over the rest of the market, which is obsessively focused on the next quarter. The investor sage is disciplined. They have a clear, written plan, and they execute it with the dispassionate consistency of a Roman legionary. They buy when their plan says to buy. They sell when their plan says to sell. They rebalance when their plan says to rebalance. They have taken their own ego and emotions out of the equation. Their strategy, not their mood, is in command, and this is how they thrive in chaos. The word thrive is important. It does not just mean survive. When chaos erupts, when the market is panicking, the unprepared investor is destroyed. The investor sage, because of their calm, their patience, and their discipline, sees the chaos as an opportunity. It is the moment when their philosophy gives them the greatest advantage. While others are panic selling, the investor sage is calmly rebalancing their portfolio, buying assets at a discount from the fearful. While others are frozen in terror, the investor sage is executing the plan they prepared for this very moment during their premeditation of evils. They are thriving, not by predicting the chaos, but by being prepared for it. They are the calm eye in the center of the hurricane. This is the ultimate competitive edge. It is not something you can buy. It is not something you can download. It is something you must build day by day within yourself. It is the reward for the difficult and noble work of becoming a philosopher. And the life of this investor sage is a life of true prosperity. Their financial capital supports a life of freedom and purpose, but their greatest joy comes from building and sharing their human and philosophical capital. They are a teacher, a mentor, a patriarch or matriarch of a flourishing family. This was the new life that Leo built. He disengaged from the daily battle. He created a simple, automated, Stoic-inspired investment plan, and he redirected the vast amounts of time and mental energy he had been wasting on the market toward his true legacy, his family. He started a weekly wisdom dinner with his children, where they would discuss the Stoic virtues. He was building his dynasty, but he was building it from the inside out. He was forging the philosophical capital first, knowing that the financial capital would be worthless without it. He was creating a lineage not of rich kids, but of wise, resilient, and capable human beings. This was a project that filled him with a sense of purpose that no rising stock price ever could. This is the true meaning of generational wealth. It is not a static pile of money to be passed down. It is a living, breathing tradition of virtue and wisdom that uses financial capital as a tool to flourish, generation after generation. It is the creation of a family culture that is stronger than the chaotic culture of the world. This is a goal worthy of a life's work. It is an ambition that is far grander, far more challenging, and far more admirable than simply becoming a millionaire. It is the ambition to become the founder of a wise and prosperous lineage. It is the ambition to be a great ancestor. The Stoic secret is that this grand ambition is achieved through small daily practices: the quiet morning meditation, the disciplined execution of your investment plan, the patient conversation with your child, the courageous decision to ignore the hype. The greatness of the legacy is built on the foundation of these small, virtuous moments. This is a path of profound peace. When your time frame shifts from the next quarter to the next century, the daily anxieties of the market become laughably insignificant. You are playing a different, longer, and better game than everyone else. And in this game, your greatest allies are not cleverness or speed, but wisdom and patience. So let us, the modern investors, have the humility to learn from the ancients. Let us have the wisdom to see that our most powerful tool is not in our computer, but in our character. Let us have the courage to pursue a form of wealth that is measured not just in dollars, but in dignity, in peace, and in virtue. Let us become the new generation of investor sages, the calm centers in the storm of the modern market, the prudent architects of lasting, meaningful, and admirable legacies. The chaos of the world is not a threat. It is our opportunity. It is the arena in which our philosophy proves its supreme and timeless value. The choice is yours. You can continue to be a frantic participant in the market's madness, a leaf in the wind, or you can begin the disciplined work of building your inner citadel, of becoming the unshakable rock against which the chaotic waves of the market break and break and break again. The Stoic path is not the easiest path. It requires discipline, patience, and a radical reevaluation of what you thought you knew about success. But it is the only path that leads to the destination you truly seek, a life of unshakable peace and a legacy of lasting worth. This is how you build a fortune that lasts. You do not build it on complex financial engineering. You build it on the simple, powerful, and indestructible foundation of a virtuous human character. This is the ultimate secret, hidden in plain sight for 2,000 years. So, let your work begin today. What is the first brick you will lay in the wall of your inner citadel? Will you write down your investment policy statement? Will you have the first conversation with your family about the meaning of true wealth? Will you begin the practice of the view from above? The construction of your legacy begins with a single, deliberate action. And remember, you are not just building for yourself. You are building for your children and your children's children. You are the founder. The quality of your work, the strength of your philosophical foundation will determine the fate of your dynasty for a century to come. This is a sacred and noble responsibility. Let your actions be worthy of this responsibility. Let your life be a testament to the power of wisdom. Let your legacy be not just one of wealth, but of virtue. Let it be a fortune a Stoic would truly admire. The chaos is not your enemy. It is your sparring partner. It is the resistance that will make you stronger. Every market crash is an opportunity to practice courage. Every speculative mania is an opportunity to practice temperance. Every news headline is an opportunity to practice rational detachment. The market is your gymnasium. This is the great reframing. You are no longer a victim of the market's chaos. You are a student, a warrior, a philosopher who is using the market as the training ground for the cultivation of your own soul. This shift in perspective is the source of all your power and all your peace. So thrive in the chaos. Thrive not by being cleverer, but by being calmer. Thrive not by being faster, but by being wiser. Thrive not by outsmarting the market, but by mastering yourself. This is the Stoic way. This is the path to victory. The world of finance is a world of noise. Your task is to find the signal. The Stoic secret is that the signal is not external, it is internal. It is the calm, quiet, and rational voice of your own well-trained mind. Learn to listen to that voice, and you will never be led astray. This is the ultimate alpha, the ultimate edge. It is not something that can be arbitraged away by a hedge fund. It is not something that can be replicated by an AI. It is the unique and unconquerable advantage of a human being who has achieved mastery over themselves. This is the secret that is available to you now. The wisdom of the ages is not locked away in a vault. It is here in these words, in these ideas, waiting for you to have the courage and the discipline to put it into practice. So, let us begin the great work. The work of transforming ourselves from anxious speculators into serene strategists, from mere accumulators of wealth into the founders of wise and lasting legacies, the work of becoming the investor sage. This is a journey that will enrich you in ways you cannot yet imagine. It will bring you a peace that is beyond price and a sense of purpose that is the true measure of a successful life. It is the greatest investment you will ever make. Let your portfolio be a reflection of your philosophy. Let it be prudent, resilient, and patient. And let your life be a reflection of your portfolio. Let it be a thing of strength, of balance, and of long-term compounding wisdom. The modern investor is at a crossroads. They can continue down the path of increasing complexity, speed, and anxiety, or they can choose a different path, a simpler, slower, and infinitely more powerful path, the path of the ancient Stoics. Choose the ancient path. It is the only one that leads to the timeless destinations of tranquility and true prosperity. It is the only one that can guide you safely through the unprecedented chaos of our modern world. Let this be the day you stop reacting and start building. The day you stop being a frantic trader and start being a serene founder. The day you stop worrying about the next quarter and start planning for the next century. The power to make this shift is entirely within you. It is the power of your own reason, your own will, your own choice. The Stoic philosophy is simply the user's manual for that power. Read the manual, practice the exercises, and you will become the master of the most powerful and sophisticated technology in the universe, your own mind. And the master of the mind is the master of all things. Let your legacy be a testament to this truth, a legacy of a fortune that was built not by a gambler but by a philosopher, not by a speculator but by a sage. This is a legacy that will endure. The chaos will not end. The storms will continue to rage, but you will be different. You will be the calm, steady, and joyful captain, secure in your citadel, guiding your ship and your lineage toward the safe harbor of a virtuous and flourishing life. This is not a destination you arrive at one day. It is a state of being you inhabit every day. It is the daily practice of being the wise and disciplined investor, the loving and philosophical parent, the calm and courageous master of your own soul. The secret is not a what, it is a who. The secret is the person you must become to thrive in this world. The Stoic philosophy is the blueprint for that person. So, go forth and build. Build your citadel. Build your character. Build your portfolio. And build your legacy. Let it be a great and admirable work, a testament to the timeless power of wisdom. This is a lifelong campaign, and it requires daily intelligence and reinforcement. The forces of chaos and irrationality are relentless, and your defenses must be constantly maintained. A daily engagement with this philosophy is your strategic imperative. See this channel as your daily briefing from the front, a source of timeless strategy to meet the timely threats, a connection to your fellow commanders in this great and noble war. Your commitment to this daily practice is your commitment to your legacy. And remember the three-legged stool of your dynasty: financial capital, human capital, and philosophical capital. You must build all three with equal care and attention. The strength of your legacy will be determined by its weakest leg. The modern investor has been given a great and terrible challenge to navigate a world of unprecedented chaos. But with this great challenge comes a great opportunity. The opportunity to prove the enduring power of ancient wisdom and to build a life of profound and lasting worth. Rise to this challenge. Seize this opportunity. Become the investor sage you were meant to be. The world has enough reactive traders. It needs more calm and wise architects of the future. Let your life be your argument. The argument that it is possible to be both wealthy and wise, both successful and serene. The argument that the best guide to the future is the timeless wisdom of the past. The Stoic secret is out. It is the secret of the unconquerable mind. It is your key to thriving in chaos. It is your blueprint for building a legacy that will echo for generations. The time for being a pawn in the market's game is over. The time for becoming a master of your own destiny is now. Unlock the wisdom, build the citadel, create the legacy. The ultimate fortune is a well-lived life. Let your investment strategy be, above all, a strategy for that. The rest is just noise. Thank you for joining this strategic briefing. The campaign to build a lasting legacy is a daily one. If you are committed to this noble work, like this video and subscribe. We provide daily intelligence briefings, new videos every day, to provide you with the timeless wisdom required to thrive in the chaos of our times.